If you're looking for player prop recommendations backed by AI, then you're in the right place. Welcome, everybody. Let's dive right into our data-driven picks for Week 7 of the NFL season. Starting with John, what do you have for us, man?
All right, well, this is not a homer pick, I promise, so stick with me. If this bet was any sneakier, it'd be on the Patriots sideline with a cutoff hoodie. I'm taking Shakir over 28.5 receiving yards. Now, the big news this week, Bills did sign Amari Cooper, and he is expected to play. So I think that's why this line is kind of where it is, and it has already gone up, by the way. I got it at 26.5. The consensus is at 28.5, and it's even as high as 32 on FanDuel right now. But again, so Amari Cooper, outside wide receiver, Shakir, slot player. He's not going to take away from his snap counts at all. If anything, I feel like this is going to open up a little bit more opportunities for Shakir, since defenses will be keying on Amari a little bit on the outside. And Shakir has cleared this every single game this year, except for last week, which he was on a snap count because he was coming back from a ankle injury in that one. He was a full go in practice this week. Should be totally fine. He averages 50 yards per game. He averages 5 targets a game when he's healthy. Again, this line is probably going to move up, but I got it at 26.5, and we'll play it at 28.5 for the elite picks. And yeah, that's my bet of the week. What do you guys think?
I would like it, man. Amari Cooper still, get implemented with the offense. Shakir's been there, so yeah, this line looks like it's going to be hittable for sure.
Yeah, I've never seen a line this low for Shakir. Like it went upwards of, it was close to 50 at some points this year because he's had larger receiving totals so far. But yeah, Tyler, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a question. Do you think, obviously, as the resident Bills fan here, are you worried at all about game script, maybe about this game maybe getting out of hand early if Shakir isn't one of those guys? I was looking at this game just from a side standpoint and was curious, is this going to be a game where Bills just sort of roll and the guys who do well early, and then from there kind of see the chips where the chips may fall. But yeah, just curious on that aspect of sort of the play and what your thoughts are as a Bills fan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always a possibility, but I don't see a world where Shakir is not part of that cast of characters that is doing well early, against this Titans defense, because this whole everybody eats thing with the Buffalo Bills was a little bit of a thing, but Shakir was the clear number one target on this team before he got injured with his ankle. Had a low target last week, like I said, because he was coming back from that ankle injury. So in every other game beside that, he's hit this number handily. And again, like, this isn't a wide receiver 1 number. This is a wide receiver 3 number. And he's still, at worst, going to get, the second most targets probably in this game. At worst, I would think, probably might even lead them in targets. Dalton Kincaid is the missing man in this offense, and his total is at 40.5. So this was too good. I put 2.5 units down on this as soon as I saw this line, before it went up. So there's no such thing as lock, but I feel really, really good about this one. So of course, that's the better you feel, the worse it goes. But I like
you've convinced me. You've certainly convinced me. So I like your logic on that for sure.
Love it. B-Dot, what's your best bet for this week 7?
Come on, man. It's time to lock in because Geno Smith is about to light up the Falcons this Sunday. This man is a pass attempt machine, okay? He just threw the rock 56 times against Detroit, man. Are you kidding me? With the last 5 games, he's averaged 45.2 attempts. You think he's not going to breeze past 35.5 against ATL? Come on, dog. That is a lock. Against defenses like San Francisco and New York Giants, Geno still slinging it, 52 attempts. The 49ers, man, come on now, bro. Atlanta better watch out because Geno is going to be tossing that ball more than a pizza maker on game day. This is about to be a passing party. Trust in Geno. Bet the over on the 35.5 passing attempts, and let's ride this wave to the bank. Hashtag air it out, Geno. Talk to me, guys.
I love it, man. I had this prop or a similar line for the Thursday night game against San Fran a couple weeks back. And again, he was over 33 pass attempts well before the fourth quarter. I thought it was going to be a sweat with a number that high, but man, he's been dropping back more than anybody this year almost. So yeah, this is there's room for error on this one. Let's just say that.
What'd you feel, Ty? Talk to me.
Yeah, man, I like it a lot. I don't want to misspeak here, but I think he might have near 100% hit rate on pass attempts this year.
It's close.
Yep. Only one. Missed one.
Obviously, the head coach has no problem with Geno slinging the rock, to some of these talented receivers. So, and also the EP score is really talking to us in this one with the 99-99. So I definitely like it. You got to keep riding this Geno passing attempts over. until they show some sort of different game plan. But for most of the season, it's basically been put the ball in Geno's hands and let him cook.
Come on, man. It was 33 seconds last game, and they were down by 2.5 touchdowns, and he still throwing the yell at the players, man, what the hell y'all doing? I'm like, man, Geno, man, hand the ball off. But Geno said, I'm trying to get my numbers up, dog.
I love it. I'm definitely going to start him in fantasy this week over Dak. That was my mistake last week. I lost by 1/10 of a point, and Geno put up like 15 more points than Dak did.
Dak is on the ban list. Dak on the ban list. Alvin Kamara on the ban list. Sutton on the ban list. Man, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
That's like my
man.
entire fantasy team, by the way. But I was going to say almost all of those players are on my fantasy team. Anyway, Ty, what's your best looking bet for this week 7 in the NFL?
So, yeah, guys, as soon as this line came out, I thought it was too good to be true. Malik Neighbors over 72.5 receiving yards. Now, Neighbors has been out for a couple weeks with a concussion, but he's cleared to play this week, and Neighbors has cashed his player prop number in 3 of his last 4 games. Now, if you look at the Eagles rank bottom 5 in the league in yards per reception and could also be without their best cornerback, Darius Slay. Now, if you look at our model, his projected receiving yards in this game is around 80 yards, but I think he's going to go off for well more than 100, as well as get a touchdown. So give me Neighbors receiving yards over in this game against the Eagles. What do you guys think?
Man, Ty, I thought you was gonna say it, but I mean, like you said, like a good Neighbors. You feel me? Malik is gonna be there. So, man, and he's coming back. I didn't know he was coming back from a concussion. I thought it was another bodily injury. So, not saying the concussion isn't that serious. Clearly, it is. But if he's well enough to play and he's clear for the concussion protocol and nothing else on his body is hurting, man, this is an easy over, bro. This is yeah. Lock it in.
Yeah, he's like that entire Giants offense. No offense to everybody else on that team. But yeah, he's been over 100, like 3 out of his last 4 or something like that, or 2 out of his last 4, and he's hit his over 3 out of his last 4 maybe. But yeah, I love this play. Against, it's a good matchup too. Philly is no stranger to letting up passing yards. So I think it's a great play, and I might even throw this in my parlay this week. We'll see.
Appreciate you, fellas, as always. All right, awesome. Now we're going to move on to some parlays that we've cooked up for week 7. John, I know you've been in the kitchen, man. I know you've been dialing things up for us. What do you have cooked up for us this week on the parlay side of things?
Man, I've been in the kitchen so much with this one that Harrison Butker wants to marry me. I don't know why. That wasn't even the thing I had.
He said it. That wasn't even in the script.
That was not in the script. This parlay, this has got some. This is some dynamic wide receivers with great matchups. I think in this one, that's usually what I look for. Now, the downside is that the Washington Commanders and the Jacksonville Jaguars secondaries aren't facing really, really potent offenses or really stout wide receiver one. So these are the wide receiver ones that I think are going to have really great matchups. Again, we already said Malik Neighbors. He's the entire Giants offense. Philly has a league pass defense, and he's 3 out of 4 with 2 games, 100 plus. Zay Flowers, I guess we should start from the top on this one, but I really think this Bucs-Ravens game is going to be a shootout. It has the makings of a shootout. The Ravens pass defense is nothing special. The Bucs love shootouts. It's like it's the way that they win games is putting up 30 plus points. And again, Zay cashed his over in the first quarter last week, made a nice couple of dollars off of that one. So hoping to continue that one. And then lastly, Amon-Ra St. Brown over 72.5 yards. He's hit this in 75% of his last 20 games. He has had a couple of slow games this year. But the Vikings actually, I've always thought they have a really good defense, right? But they've given up the second most yards to wide receivers in the league this year so far. And I think part of that is that teams are constantly playing from behind against the Minnesota Vikings this year. So that's my parlay, plus 566 odds. That's quintuple your money and then some. So what do you guys think about this play? I'm still sticking with 3 legs. We hit a 3-legger a couple weeks ago, so we're going to stay in the same area. What do you guys think?
Well, coming from a 3-leg monster myself, I just 100% agree with this, man. Yeah, bro. I'm telling. You're gonna catch me with the same play on Prize Picks.
I love it. I love it. Tyler, good luck topping that. What do you think?
Yeah, I only really use mine as a kickstand, not really a leg. So, but no, I like this a lot, especially based on some of your supporting facts. I totally agree with you with the Bucks and Ravens matchup going to be high scoring. I'm totally with you on the Sun God. He's been I've been a big fan of his this year in terms of a lot of his props, whether it be receiving yards or receptions. And we've already talked about Malik, so let's cash this one for you, John.
Yeah. Hopefully we keep it going here. Start a little streak. But now I'm excited for this. B-Dot, what you got cooked up for your parlay this week? This is going to be crazy. I know it.
Come on, man. Better hunt. Oh, go. What you got to add, Taj? Come on.
I was going to say this one might be as long as a CVS receipt compared to some of me and John's, but my guy, let it rip. Do your thing, B-Dot.
Or his third leg, one of the two.
Man, listen, that thing pretty long too. All right, man, look, bet 100, win 600. All right, y'all, it's time to get hyped because this prize pick parlay is straight money. We've got 6 of the hottest players in the game, and I'm calling it now. This one's hitting big. Let's kick it off with Geno Smith, man. This man's been cooking lately. He just dropped 56 pass attempts against Detroit. Like I said previously, he averages 45.2 in his last 5 games. Trust me, he's going way over 35.5 pass attempts. Hashtag air it out, Geno. Next, we got JJ, aka Justin Jefferson, the route running wizard. This man put up 133 yards against the San Francisco 49ers, and with an average of 90 yards in the last 5 games, 69.5 receiving yards is light work. Hashtag can't guard JJ. Next, I'm going with your boy Ty, Malik Neighbors. He is Malik Neighbors is coming in hot. Dropped 127 yards on Washington and averages 96.5 over the last 4. He's cruising past 72.5 yards on Sunday. Hashtag Neighbors Nation. And now, Derrick Henry the King just recently hit 132 yards against Washington, and he's averaging a whopping 131.6 yards in his last 5 games. You think he won't crush 69.5 rushing yards? Nah, not today. Hashtag feed the king. And my main man, Saquon Barkley, the human highlight reel, put up 147 yards against the Saints. Didn't have a good game last game, but he going against his old boys, and he going to turn up. He's locked in, and 59.5 rushing yards is an easy target for him. Hashtag Barkley beast mode. And finally, last but not least, like I said, let there be light. Chris Godwin, the man dropped 125 yards on New Orleans and averages 85.6 in the last 5 games. I don't even think Mike Evans going to be playing. He didn't even practice like that this week. So that's even more of a hit. He going over 49.5 receiving yards. It's about to be a walk in the park for him. Hashtag Godwin good hands. This 6-pick lineup is straight cash, fam. Lock it in and let's ride. Hashtag give me my money. How y'all feeling?
I feel like I just watched an SNL sketch where they were ragging on hashtags. Like, no, it's great. I love that you put some alt lines in here. I think those were the perfect spots to do it too, because like the spots that I feel the best about Malik Neighbors and Geno Smith, you stuck with the regular lines, which is good. Mm-hmm. And then all the other places, you got some room for error with the alt lines. So man, I love it. It's a flawless. I don't even have an answer for who ruins this. Like, I think it's solid.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I like it as well, especially with all of these, especially with the alt lines, like you said, out of even mine including, I think this one may have the best likelihood of cashing just based on the matchups and grabbing those alt lines. So love that you're doing your thing on Prize Picks, B-Dot. Keep it up and let's cash this bad boy. Man,
Rick doing 12 days. I needed to hit like a Mike Tyson episode. So what you got cooked up for is Ty.
So yeah, I've got a little 4-leg parlay here with 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. So I started off with Jamar Chase over 78.5 receiving yards against the Browns. AJ Brown just went off for over 100 yards against the Browns last week. Jamar Chase had a bit of a down week last week, so I really expect him to go off and have a big game against the Browns team that's pretty much folding up shop and calling it a season. Next up, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 receptions. Sort of going along the same train of thought as John on this one. Historically, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown is also 8 against the Vikings, so I expect this to be a high-scoring game and for him to get a lot of touches in this matchup. After that, I have George Kittle over 52.5 receiving yards against the Chiefs. In the last 3 of 4 games, he's had 55-plus yards receiving and 5-plus receptions. And if you look historically in the last 2 games against the Chiefs, he's had over 75 receiving yards. So I think this is going to be a huge game that has a lot of implications, and they're going to want to feed Kittle. And last but not least, give me Kyren Williams. Kyren, my man, Kyren Williams. Anytime touchdown score here, minus 195. He scored in 8 straight regular season games dating back to last year. I think he's going to get to 9 straight coming off of a bye week with the Rams, and he'll get in the end zone as they play the Raiders. So with these 4 legs combined in a parlay, that's going to come out to plus 764 odds. So if you put down $100 on this, it's going to get you a little over $850. Talk to me, gentlemen. What do you think about this?
I like it. You convinced me when you told me that AJ Brown got over 100 yards against that Browns defense. So this is definitely another pickup game, a comeback game for Jamar Chase. Like you guys said earlier, he missed a lot of the training camp, but he's trying to find his groove. And I think him and Joe, I know I've been hard on him this year, but this is the Cleveland Browns, guys. All right. Don't disappoint me, okay? Please don't make me a non-believer, and because I don't want to put Chase on the ban list. All right, Joe, you out of here, dog. All right, but if you have a bounce back, you might be the 6th man off the bench for next time. But yeah, I love this overall, man. George Kittle, yeah, he's been having a hell of last 2 games, and he's finding his groove. He knows exactly where his wife is after he scores a touchdown. So it's going, it's this. I'm definitely telling this. I'm telling this, highly telling it.
Yeah, I think I saw some stats today about the Chiefs have trouble defending inline tight ends. And George Kittle obviously is one of the more traditional tight ends who doesn't play in the slot as much. He does play in line at the end of the line. So I really love that pick specifically. And, Kyren Williams scores every single dang week. So why not tack that on? I love it,
bro. Every week.
Appreciate you guys on that one. And yeah, figured give some touchdown love this week in terms of the parlays. In the last couple of weeks, we kind of, I shifted away from it a little bit, but appreciate you guys as always. I know I'm probably going to tail both of yours as well. One of the 3 of us has got to get a W on the board here this week, so let's definitely get after it.
Yeah. Hey, if you play all 3 of these parlays, if one of them hits, you're going to end up in plus money. So that's it's the reality of all those odds there too. So
need that money, bro.
Facts.
Need that money, man. Shit.
All right, next up, we're now going to cover the community picks for this week, which were all voted on by Elite Picks app users. John, is there any pick from our community that stands out to you in particular?
Man, I'm looking at that Jordan Love touchdown line there, and I was like over 1.5 pass TDs. I know it's minus 178 on there, so it's not really even odds or anything like that. But he's hit this in 90% of his last 10 games, 9 out of 10. So yeah, give me Jordan Love over 1.5 pass TDs, 9 out of 10. I'll take that every time. Anything look good to you, B-Dot? What's your favorite thing on here? Obviously, we already talked about Malik a little bit, but
talked about Malik, talked about Chris, and we're gonna end up talking about Chris again. Talked about Jefferson, Jaden Daniels, man. He didn't clear this line last game, but most likely they were playing from behind, going against that Carolina defense. They're not the best against mobile quarterbacks. And I think Jaden Daniels is going to have another hell of a week, proving us why so far he is the offensive rookie of the year. And he's just going to keep getting higher and higher. I don't have a hashtag for this, but hashtag JD. Yeah, that's it, brother. That's all I got. Hashtag JD. JD eat. How you feel, Ty? What's something on here pop out to you, dog?
Yeah, so I definitely got to talk a little bit about Justin Jefferson versus the Lions. If you look at Detroit's defense, they've struggled in the passing game, ranked near the bottom of the league in passing yards per game. And if you look at Jefferson's last 3 games, he's racked up 30 targets and 18 receptions. And, I love my historical trends and seeing how some of these players play against these organizations. And if you look at Jefferson's numbers against the Lions, he's averaging 7 receptions and 134 receiving yards per game in 8 career games. So I think he's going to go off. No Aiden Hutchinson to cause additional pressure, to Darnold. So I think that just opens up more opportunities for Jefferson to just really eat this week.
That's a really good angle to it. Yeah, I forgot about Aiden Hutchinson. Terrible loss for Detroit there, but they've definitely got the horses to make that a shootout. But that's one more plus in the shootout column for that game. as well. So I love it.
Yeah, shout out to our users in the community who dialed these up, and we're using a lot of the data and information that we provide. So